Hello, hello, welcome back to another anime art video. My name is Dennis and I'm a beginner artist, and in today's video I'm going to be drawing uh t what's her name? Tatsumi? Ta it starts with a T. I never actually really knew her name, but the world is an interesting place. I always go on like some sort of like tangent or like some like arbitrary thought that I was having in my videos every now and again. And like people that some people are stupid, okay? When you talk about characters that can beat certain other characters, like you if you're going to make it a fair fight. Yeah, I understand that there's like a scaling system on like how people are supposed to like rank people when they fight. And if a character has been, shown to put out this type of damage, they have this much capabilities and they're considered to be this high or this high, right? Let's think about this in terms of like I'm going to give you two different comparisons of characters, right? Or actually three. Okay. If we take Goku, if we take Goku, Ichigo, Naruto, and we took somebody like Anos, Anos Voldigode, right? Think about think about in terms of like if you only were to like compare by the anime, right? You'll see somebody like Goku, right? Goku, with the amount of damage that he can put out with his hits and with how fast he is and certain techniques that he has, he can be considered overpowered, right? Now think about somebody like Naruto, right? Comparing Naruto to Goku, you wouldn't be able to even scale Naruto, his speed or power anywhere near Goku's, right? So what you would have to do is you would have to take certain abilities that he has and see if they can scale to Goku, right? And you can't do it. So therefore, Naruto cannot beat Goku, right? People can use that logic to like definitively say that, but there's still idiots out there that don't know how to compare like power in shows, and they're just like blindly following the fact that they think that Naruto can do this thing, right? So then if we were to compare some speed that we've seen in Bleach to somebody like Goku, it'd be a little bit more different, right? Because the speed aspect of Bleach is far higher than the speed aspect of Naruto. So the speed gap is closed a little bit, right? And the power is higher in Bleach, right? So, but there's still people that don't think that. They're just like, oh, well, we've seen this, but we haven't seen. Like, no, shut up. If you don't know what you're talking about, just stop it. Okay. So the difference in that power is apparent. So when you compare somebody like Bleach, somebody like Ichigo to Goku, what you would have to do is you'd have to look at the abilities again. Can the abilities close the gap to equal him beating Goku? No, Goku wins. Comparing Ichigo to Naruto, Ichigo scales higher, so does Naruto have anything that can beat Ichigo? No. What you would say is you would say that, well, Naruto has shadow clones, and the shadow clones all have the same power as him, so theoretically, there's more of him that can fight Ichigo So naturally, he'd get overwhelmed, or even he has truth-seeking orbs that can do this much amount of damage. He has this, he has that. You would have, oh yes, he has Sage mode, so he doesn't even have to land a complete hit. He can hit in the general direction, and it'll hit. He has Tailed Beast Bomb. He has this one technique that he used in the manga that uh, got rid of Kurama from him. So he was only able to use that technique that one time. But if you were to compare characters in a battle, you're not using a technique that they only used one time and can't use again. You would compare them to techniques that they can still use. So I wouldn't put that Baryon mode Naruto against Final Getsuga Tensho Ichigo. Make no sense because both of those instances, those are powers that once you use them, you no longer can use them again. Whereas Ichigo ended up getting, more power, getting his power back, and then getting more power. And the current Ichigo is like far stronger than that. But the point stands. And now throw somebody like Anos in the mix, right? Based on the show's feats, he's not like considered like insanely fast, right? Not insanely fast based on the show. His power is like insane, right? We see his power. His power is like way above his speed in terms of the show. But now, when you want to compare them, if you compare him to somebody like Goku, does his abilities equal Goku? Yes. They far surpass Goku. Even if he doesn't have the same speed feats, and we're not saying that he doesn't, but let's say that he didn't. Does his power allow him to close that gap? And it does. So that fight goes to him. Okay? And so on and so forth. So based on this scale, Naruto's the lowest, then Ichigo, then Goku, and then Anos. But the fact that people just want to watch like one show and they don't know how to scale the difference in power between shows to even have a fair discussion about anything about them, it makes no sense. I could see if you just start watching anime and you have your own opinion about something, but don't say something to somebody else basing your opinion as if it's facts. You should lead the subject with saying, "Oh, I don't know enough about this character, so I think that this character would win." But that's like the statement that you need to say. I think. Because once you say, I don't know much about this character, but I'm pretty sure that this character would win, that clearly shows that you have a bias. That's a biased situation. Even if you weren't to say it like that and you don't even lead it with, I don't know enough about this character, if you don't know enough about a character to say something definitively, then don't say anything at all. It's just not a discussion that you should have. So don't be like, if you see a scale, a tier list, and you're like, oh, well, I don't know much about this character, so I can't even like, I'm not saying like a tier list, okay? Because a tier list is fair. You can judge every other character on that list except for the character that you don't know much about. But if you have like a versus, then don't say anything about the versus. Like, you can't say, I don't know much about this character, but this character I know about, so and I think that he's overpowered. He should win. Because if you don't know enough about the other character, then you can't say much about it. So don't. But only characters that you know how to make the argument and you know how to compare the verses with each other can you make those arguments with. And if you're anybody that's going to compare any world of anime to Dragon Ball, you need to realize that the world of Dragon Ball is insane with power. Like, the amount of power that they have in that world is astronomically like more than every other world, right? The only difference is their ability is based on fighting ability. It's not based on like Hack's ability or even like abilities like that around that realm. So when you take a look at a world like Dragon Ball and you were to compare their abilities to, let's say, somebody in Naruto that can use Genjutsu, Genjutsu wouldn't work on anybody in Dragon Ball. It would not. Well, I'm not going to say anybody, but anybody that matters, okay? Because they've been doing mind training, and Genjutsu attacks the mind. And based on how strong their ki is, it's everything. Their ki is everything. It's their physical, it's their mental, it's everything, okay? So with the scale of their power and their fist, it's a correlation to how high their ki is. And if their ki is that high, you would compare the power that they can put out with one punch and compare that to whether or not that genjutsu would work. And if a person can put somebody in a genjutsu and they have to be careful with who their target is because their target might be a problem for them in their world, if you have a problem with somebody in your own world, you would never stand a chance against somebody in Dragon Ball. That key will not work. I mean, that it will not work on their key because the scale is different. If Naruto's world is a world of people of a level 100, Dragon Ball is a world of people with 1,000. Actually higher than that. I'm just like, like balling this, giving you a ball range on the scale. So remember that when you compare like these two things, that the power that you're not going to, like, unless you're doing like equal stats, which is stupid, because the only way equal stats would work is if you have two people with the same amount of hacks fighting. But if you're going to say, oh, equal stats when one of them has an ability that allows like something stupid, like giving like there's people like, oh, uh infinite chakra for these characters. Infinite chakra is like, it's way different because chakra in their world, if you gave somebody in Dragon Ball infinite ki, that's dumb. It makes no sense. That's why nobody would ever argue that. It's interesting that the only thing that they argue for is they're like, "Oh, let's give these Naruto characters infinite chakra, but we never give Dragon Ball characters infinite ki." Because you want to know what that would do? Infinite ki for somebody in Dragon Ball would mean going Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan would be no problem. They can stay in that form indefinitely. Going in Ultra Instinct, no problem. Can stay in that form indefinitely because your body isn't getting weakened by it. Going Ultra Super Saiyan Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Kaioken times whatever, because ki isn't a thing like that you have to worry about anymore. You can amp up your power infinitely. Ki you can use to quote unquote send spirit bomb indefinite, right? Like that's why people don't make that argument. It's a dumb argument. People shouldn't do it just because they know that, oh, well, it should be a fairer fight if you give this weaker verse a power like this. If you're going to give them something fair. Don't just like blow it completely out of proportions. And like, if you know that your character needs a handicap in order to win a fight, then you know that your character can't win the fight. So naturally, just find a character that you can compare that character to and argue that. It makes no sense to try and put your character up against somebody. It makes no sense to put your character at the bottom of the ocean and tell them to fight the sun. It makes absolutely no sense. Don't do that. But sorry for my long rant. But let's get into this.
A little bit of light, a little bit of gold. Under pressure, you start to fold like a diamond from gold. Maybe you are, maybe you are something I cannot define. Maybe you are, maybe you are the fallen kind. I lay in bed with violence, the silent side of me. We see where fire starts to breathe. When I would lay in silence, the voice inside of me made me use my mind right. Made me use my mind right. I never even got to say goodbye. When I would lay in silence, the voice inside of me made me use my mind right. Made me use my mind right. Made me use my mind right. A little bit of light, a little bit of gold. Under pressure, you start to fold like a diamond from gold. Maybe you are, maybe you are something I cannot define. Maybe you are, maybe you are the fallen kind. I lay in bed with violence, the silent side of me. We see where fire starts to breathe. When I would lay in silence, the voice inside of me A little bit of light, a little bit of gold. Under pressure, you start to fold like a diamond from gold. Maybe you are, maybe you are something I cannot define. Maybe you are, maybe you are the fallen kind. I leave.
All right, I am finished with I don't remember her name. Looking back at this picture, um something about it is like off to me, whether it be like the spacing in the eyes. I did not mean to erase that completely. I meant to just like clean up that line, but I'm not like clean up the line, but like, that bottom piece right there. I meant to just fix that. But this picture, like, it like looks like an anime character. I mean, not an anime character. It looks like a cartoon character that I remember. It was like a mad scientist with like bulging eyes. It kind of like reminds me of that. The more I like look at it, it's hard for me to figure out what actually was the problem with this picture with the eyes and like what I could have done to fix it. But it's whatever. That's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you did. Let me know what I can do in the comment sections to make it better for you to watch next time. The glove is off. Peace, love. Thanks for watching.